Here we go, here we go.
Move it, move it, move it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Next man up. Yeah.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the show. I am your host, Donovan Lee Dean, actor, author, and rhythmic poet. You're now tuned in to Next Man Up, Poetry in Motion, where the mission is to provide the essence of poetry in motion, promoting peace, love, and growth for the existence of humanity and the culture. Later in the episode, there will be a featured dialogue, a true story of a daunting past, read by the creator, educator, actress, and singer Algie Jenkins, along with a poetry read entitled Relationship by the creator, actor, director, producer, and filmmaker Stephon Pettway. Right now, let's get into the poetry mix. This is Next Man Up, Poetry in Motion. This is food for the people. Yeah. A new day, a new way. Give me harmony, give me melody. Solution is R&B. Give me love, give me your touch. Don't let the hype rise above, causing too much. What we got can evolve to what it can be. Let it be authentic, beyond what you can see. The effort is timeless, society is ruthless. Giving relieves the pain. Together we can do this. Together we can build. Together we can fulfill. Use your voice to add a choice. A new day, a new way. Yeah.
Relationships. I want to be in love. I want to meet somebody that tickles my fancy. I want to wake up next to them every day. I want to have a conversation about nothing and everything at the same time. I want us to pick cherries and blossoms. I want us to engage with one another physically, spiritually, mentally. I want us to intertwine like DNA. But I'm a coward. I'm a fool. I'm a fool because I am lost in the idea of what being in a relationship really means. Being in a relationship means showing up. Being in a relationship means delivering. Being in a relationship means stepping back. Being in a relationship means locking in. Being in a relationship means engaging completely and utterly with yourself. I want to be in love with myself. I want to give us free. I want to not be so hard. I want to not be so tough. I want to not push so much of myself away from myself. I want me and I and us to bond. What is it that we are afraid of? We are afraid of being ugly. We are afraid of looking deep inside of ourselves and challenging ourselves to rise above who we actually are. We are afraid to be superheroes. We are afraid to be lions, king of the jungles, and roaring. We are afraid to be sensitive and caring and daring. We are afraid to be subtle and very nuanced. We are afraid to be humble, but we also afraid to be baby boy and get gully and raw and tell somebody like it really is. We're afraid. We're black. We're individuals. We weren't taught to be our own individual. We were taught that all things that another man speaks are God, are godly, are more light. But we are light too. We shine bright. We are gold. We are the essence of love and of light. I want to be in a relationship with me. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want a relationship with life. But first, you gotta be in a relationship with yourself. Unity. UNITY. Relationships.
That was Relationship by Stephon Pettway. Up next is Algie with her story. Queen, talk to him.
Here we go.
Next man up.
It was a normal day in the early 2000s. Everything just seemed to be going my way. I was accomplishing goals and thankful for all what the Creator had bestowed upon me. I was living life. And as it's been quoted, I was living my best life. My family and friends were all happy for me. I had the man of my dreams. My career was on track, and I was ready to become a mom. 3 years had passed, and we were getting married and getting ready to welcome our daughter. I knew we would be together forever, or as our wedding vows had stated, until death do us part. We were building our future together, and I wanted everything to work out. I was submissive, and there was nothing I wouldn't do for him. Well, let me tell you that things can change in the blink of an eye. Our once happy abode became the most dreaded place, and I never wanted to be there. The man of my dreams slowly transformed into my biggest nightmare. I kept the facade of a loving and cheerful wife on the outside, but on the inside, behind closed doors, I lived in a house of horror. While I was pregnant, I was yelled at and ridiculed for every little thing. And when I say every little thing, I absolutely mean it. If the laundry wasn't done, I was no good. If I opened the door for someone we knew, or I had company come over when he wasn't there, he would wait until they left and yell and scream and shout about how he don't trust nobody. I never said anything, but I always secretly wished that I could rewind time back and go back to when we were oh so happy. I made excuses for him. I figured since he never hit me, maybe he was just stressed about becoming a father, or maybe there was just so much more I could do. I never really asked him what he wanted. Yet, I would make suggestions like, I think we should try marriage counseling. His reply would be, there's nothing wrong with me. Maybe you the problem. I chose to ignore the behavior. 10 days before my due date, I had my last checkup. And my doctor insisted that I go to the emergency room. He said he didn't want to scare me, but he couldn't find my baby's heartbeat. And he had tried about 4 or 5 times. I was rushed to the emergency room. They still couldn't find my baby's heartbeat. So I had to have my baby, not knowing what the outcome would be. As much as I wanted to be a mom and welcome her to this world, she was born as a stillborn. Yet she was healthy, and her autopsy showed that she had no issues. I really didn't know how I would make it mentally, but I was surrounded by so much love from my family and friends. I grieved. And yet I'd still approach life, and I stayed with my husband, and I figured things would kind of change for us. It didn't. My husband, he didn't change. He became more aggressive. It was less with words, and he became far more physical. I never said anything, but I would go to work, go to school. I wouldn't mention it at all. This lasted for almost about a year. And yet I just knew that things would change, and there would be moments that he gave me hope because he would apologize for all his physical outbursts. One evening, as I was preparing to go to work, my cell phone rang. I answered, and the female voice asked to speak to my husband. I figured it was a call from his job, so I gave him my phone and I told him he had a phone call. He answered, but he spoke really fast and assured the caller that he would call him back once I went to work. I was leaving in about 10 minutes. So as he hung up the phone, I just jokingly said, like, look like you're gonna be headed to work. Was that your job? He gave me the most stern look. And he just became filled with rage. And he shouted, don't you ever ask me who called for me. Before I could even reply, he began to choke me. As my body fell to the floor, I knew I was going to die. And I knew nobody would have known. I secretly prayed to the Creator that I would just get up. And if I got up, I knew I would never return to that house. Something came over him. He stopped choking me, but he drew his fist back like he was gonna knock me out. I was gasping for air and just closing my eyes. I didn't know what to do, and I just got out barely. You trying to kill me? He stopped. He got up and he just left. I went to work as usual and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't say nothing. But one thing I did know, that I would never go back to that house. When I got off from work, I went to my parents' home and I informed them of everything that was going on. I also started filing for a divorce. When I didn't come home from work, he called and seemed concerned. I just told him that my dad would come by for my things.
To be continued. You can catch more of Algie's story Saturday, July 20th at 5 a.m. Thank you, Queen. That was truly heartfelt and inspirational. Before we go, I would like to conclude with a power message to uplift each and every listener and to get you in a good headspace. It's a message about change. Never fear change. Never be complacent with old principles that may have expired. Keep up with the times. Learn from fresh minds of the younger generation as they learn from us. Nothing ever stays the same, so never be dogmatic because you're bound to fall behind. Listen to new ideas that'll benefit you in growth because we are all students of life for life. Thanks for tuning in to Next Man Up, Poetry in Motion. I am Donovan Lee Dean. To see and hear my rhythmic poetry, instrumentals, and acting reels, go to YouTube at Donovan Lee Dean. Also, you can find my poetry books, children's books, and coloring books on Amazon at booksbyledeen.net. For actor or poet bookings, contact dvmedia10@gmail.com. I am Donovan Lee Dean, actor, author, and rhythmic poet. Until next time, peace. Yeah!